I'm Dylan Ratigan. I've interviewed nearly every CEO and most world leaders during the past 25 years. And now on Bootstrapping, I'm turning my attention to the new CEOs and the irrepressible entrepreneurs leading the next generation of innovation in the world. Welcome back to tastylive. I am Dylan Ratigan. Time for another episode of Bootstrapping. Jaden Schaefer is my guest today. He's the founder and CEO of a company called AIBoox. They're also another one of the companies in our partnership with Republic, where they're raising on the platform right now $150K in reservations. They can't even invest yet, and you got them lined up around the block, Jaden. What's your proposition?
Yeah, so AIBoox is a no-code AI app building platform. So essentially, we kind of started this because at the beginning of the year, my business partner, Jillian, and myself, we've done some, software AI startups in the past. And at the beginning of the year, when ChatGPT came out, we were thinking of like 100 new AI businesses a week that, ChatGPT could integrate with and start. And we have a friend that's, our CTO now. And we kept like pestering the poor guy. We kept pestering him and coming up, giving him all these different, AI business ideas.
What if you did this? And what if you did this? And you can
yeah, exactly. And asking him like, how viable is this idea and that idea? And, anyways, I think he got sick of giving us free advice. So eventually we kind of realized there was so many applications for AI that instead of building, 100 different apps, what we really needed to do was build a platform that allowed anyone to go take their custom prompts, take their custom workflows, their AI, tools that they use, put them together and build applications they could monetize. So that's what we're building.
So give me an example of how that would work.
Yeah. So like one example, we have cheap.travel is one of our design customers, and they send out, or they create these blog posts, right? And they're like, we use AI tools to create our blog posts. It takes us a lot of time. What we were able to create for them was essentially an AI application that it used all they have to do is put in the keyword for the blog post they want to generate. It uses ChatGPT to come up with a title. It links that title over to Dolly to generate images that are going to go in the article, links it over to an instance of ChatGPT to generate the actual article itself.
So basically, it's an AI that generates prompts for other AI.
Very, very close. Essentially, it's a platform that allows you to use your own prompts you've developed and your own workflows and chain them together.
My prompts. So I have to come to the table with a set of prompts and some sort of a goal / task list of some sort of cadence of process and
Exactly. So you're just able to tie your whole process together so that in a click of a button, it will run through your whole process instead of you having to copy and paste and use different platforms. And that's just on the creator side. Then the other aspect of it is that it will have a marketplace. So if you build a tool, right, let's say an article generator that has all these different components you have built together, you can publish it on our marketplace and then you receive a royalty anytime someone uses that. So businesses love it because essentially you can go to the marketplace, look at any niche or industry, and find the different tools that are popular.
And if my solution takes off, I got a royalty on my solution. If
exactly.
Or I can go get your solution because you may have solved the problem I have already, and then I'm very happy because I could get you off the shelf. And either which way. Where do you think? Where's the low hanging in terms? So obviously, I can see where like infinite, right? You could spend days. You could do this. You could do this. You do this. From a commercial, like shortest distance to revenue in terms of applying this for a business, in terms of the platform's utility to a business, is there a specific sector? You mentioned travel.
Yeah.
Is there a place? Do you have at least an informed speculation as to where you think these verticals are more likely to have a higher value, a more of an economic value proposition for the use of the platform than others?
Yeah. So I'll preface this by saying, since kind of talking about this, because I have a podcast and I've talked about this and I've had a lot of inbound of people really excited about this. I'll preface it by saying, I've had lawyers and, people in all sorts of industries tell me interesting use cases they want to build. But for me, my bias is going to be towards marketing because my background is I taught advanced digital marketing at university. That's kind of my area of expertise. And previous to starting this company, working on marketing projects, I use different AI tools. Jasper is one example of those. And I was up to the $800 a month tier in Jasper, cranking out a ton of content and was thrilled paying that price because of the value and the content I was getting. Now, this platform that we're creating is kind of like that on steroids. You can, essentially save yourself 10 times the time and create 10 times the content. And so, yeah, I think the most, in my mind, the way I see this generating revenue the fastest in the vertical, I see this being like the most immediate for adoption. This Gen AI is in kind of that marketing field, creating newsletters, creating articles, creating assets for your pitch decks, creating video and audio and images. Like there's a lot of areas inside of that vertical that people are already paying a lot of money.
You're saying we're basically like a company of the cheap travel, just to use your one client, but any client would upload their video. So I would say, here's the video of all of my cars because I'm a car company and whatever. I would upload all my creative assets effectively into that environment. And then the AI will come back with, here's a sizzle video, here's an Instagram post, here's a
exactly.
Instagram
Yeah, that's the concept, is just like you essentially find all of the AI applications that have been built and you just use all of those to automate all the processes inside your company. And the first area that I think really gets dominated by this is marketing.
Mm-hmm. And where are you in the sense, does this exist right now?
So we have a fully working demo at the moment that we use for a couple design clients are using it, but it's not live. We don't have beta users on it yet. We're currently building out the back end and building out the marketplace side of it. So the app builder and actually putting together these tools, we have that functioning, but we're working on a couple other aspects before we do a launch where we bring on beta users.
Mm-hmm. How do I ask this question? So all that marketing stuff makes sense. I would say at the other end of the spectrum is sort of, you have the content, right? Whether it's the sales content or whispering, teasing, flirting content, whatever marketing content, everything in between. Mm-hmm. And then you have basically what I'll call communication, which I'll define as actual exchange of information between two people where you actually understand what I want you to understand, mm-hmm. as opposed to I say something and you think something, and we're all our world. Which I'll define as intent, right? Like you explain to me your intention here. Why did you make this? Or I could, I can explain my intent on different ideas. Obviously, everybody can. Can AI internalize? Can I articulate intent? I want to create a company that specializes in anything, XYZ product, root beer. Create messaging, create the best possible messaging to hit these three emotions of trust, authenticity, and deliciousness, whatever. Yeah. Right. I'm just kind of curious because you're right up on the beak of the AI. I guess what I'm getting at is, where do you draw the line between the human philosophy, intention, communication, and the robots, and where does that line intersect?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as it stands, AI is incredibly, I think it's good. I think it can already do intent. You can say, create a company. Okay, so the most simple is like you use something like ChatGPT and say, I'm creating a root beer company and I want you to like create these kind of assets or this kind of content, and it will understand some basic parameters and build it for you. Where it's going though, like if we're looking at the future, is essentially what it's called autonomous agents, where and there's rumors that OpenAI is going to announce this at the end of the year. I'm not 100% sure if that will happen. We'll have to stay and see. But autonomous agents and the concept, regardless of if OpenAI announces it at the end of the year or not, it's going to happen in the next, I would say, year. Like look out for this in the next year. But autonomous agents, you essentially give them a mission, and it's much broader. So you could say, you say, I'm going to give you access to a bank account with $400 in it. Use this $400 to start a company in this sector that's the most profitable possible using online marketing tactics. And, the software might say, come back to you and say, okay, I need logins and accounts for like these different platforms. You go set it up with that, and it will just go run and do your task. And of course, there's like the business one everyone talks about because it's making money, but there's like some nefarious ones. Like I would like you to, go and spread this sort of information to like social groups, give the sentiment that this certain stock is crashing.
I would like you to steal Jaden Schaefer's credit card numbers and buy me a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So that I have a nice car for the summer.
Exactly. So there's nefarious, there's positive sides of this, but inevitably and eventually.
That sounds like a problem, bro. I mean, is that why they're slow rolling the autonomous agent? Because it creates such a potentially, detached adversarial robot?
Yeah, so two thoughts on that. My first thing is I've been recently speaking to a bunch of regulators in Washington, and my thesis, and they disagree with me. So, you may disagree, other people may disagree. My thesis is if it's possible to build the technology, it will get built. And our focus shouldn't be on stopping the technology. It should be on what happens when it's there. How do we safeguard against it? How do we defend against it? And sometimes I feel like you have to build the technology to figure that out. So I know that's a little bit more controversial. It definitely is a problem, but regardless of if OpenAI slow
your
rolls,
point is autonomous agents are happening as sure as AI is happening. So come up with a plan to manage them. Don't live in a fantasy land.
Exactly. Yeah. So whether OpenAI slow rolls it or not, like North Korea is going to build them.
Right.
China
autonomous agents will be available and be part of society within 3 years and probably 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, but that sounds like it could be very productive and also make life really a pain in the ass.
Yeah, some people there's some things that a lot of people are complaining about with it is they're just like, oh my gosh, we're about to go through a phase where like every website is going to get so bombarded, the bandwidth and the hosting costs are going to go through the roof because all these autonomous agents are going to be running around, grabbing data, looking at stuff, signing up for accounts, doing things, and just like blowing bandwidth through the roof. So I think you're going to see a lot of companies that block bots and those types of tools and softwares. Like there's software that blocks that, and those companies I think are going to make a lot of money. So I mean, definitely an area to look at as well.
You're making a stock pick on the side, or at least a sector pick.
Something to keep your eyes open on for sure.
Stockbot security software. So, do you care? So let's just look at marketing.
Yeah.
Do you care? Let's say you come up with 1 or 3 different marketing process solutions, and then hundreds of companies are just using those 3 solutions, as opposed to 100 companies doing 100 custom solutions using the platform. Do you care whether you have those same 100 customers in 3 solutions through your marketplace versus making their own? Like, do you have a dog in the hunt in steering people either into the marketplace to exist off what will iteratively become existing, or self-generation?
So the thing I will say is I know some things that like I literally have already built these on the platform and I use them for my own marketing efforts for things I do, and they're life changers. I have like virtual assistants and I literally have them set up.
Yeah, like a toolkit, Yeah,
I have like a toolkit for my virtual assistants that are already built on AIBoox that they're using, and so I have ideas of ones that I think are going to be blockbuster successes and hits. That being said, companies a lot of times want to just do like fine tuning, tweaking, customizing to themselves. And so I think in that sense, some of these tools, they may be able to riff off of like a base tool that I build and just add a little bit of customization to it. And so in that sense, I don't think it will just be like 3 core apps or 4 core apps that power a majority of the usage. I think a lot of people will want to customize them a bit. But there's definitely some areas that are going to be incredibly popular.
And my last question, do you think that as the digital marketing tools are optimized towards the sort of convergence of perfection, which is the most interesting content for the people that are most interested in that content, which is sort of where the algorithm is infinitely steering, right? If you pay attention to this, you get more of this. If you pay attention to this, you get the other people that like this, they like this, and this, and they bought this and this on steroids times 1,000, right? And then sort of backing your way into this.
Yeah.
As it becomes more widely available, so that I don't need to hire a hot shot like you or some of these other kids in LA and New York and say, they're like, listen, we spin this thing like a voodoo monster. You won't even know what happened. And as that becomes more broadly available, it's sort of like the edge, right? Like there's an edge with the spreads in the stock market where fractions, it was 12 cents was the tightest it could get, but you go to pennies and now it's a penny instead of 12 cents, changes the business. And I wonder if as the best practices in social DTC sort of marketing are more broadly available, do you think that diminishes their effectiveness, increases their effectiveness? And do you think that the customer experience gets better or worse?
Yeah, I mean, technology gets better. I think customer experience gets better. Here's something really interesting that's happening right now in AI that I think answers this question. And that is that there's a number of companies that are video. And I like to use video because I think it's a very applicable marketing, attention kind of grabbing area. But there's a number of companies specifically in the AI and video sector that are creating. So they're starting with corporate training, but this is going to go into everything. So they're corporate training videos that essentially they make. Your company says, hey, I want to train one of my employees on this topic.
My salespeople, give them
on this specific area, and they have the script or the thing. So the AI generates a video based off of that. It's a talking head video. Someone's explaining it. There's a script. Now, what they're doing is, as someone is watching this, they have metrics to determine when they're losing someone's interest on the video, and in real time, the video is updating the.
Who are they? Hold on. Who are they? Who
are they? I'll send you. You can include it in the show notes. I covered this on my podcast a couple days ago. I can't remember the exact name of the company.
But it's it's the they is not the government and they is not the marketplace. They is a specific company.
There's a specific AI company.
More than one company right now, or I mean, how far along are we with this eyeball game?
There's a couple companies mentioned that are working on this. One of them is if you just go to the AI section in TechCrunch, it was one of the top video companies they're talking about.
That is I thought it was evil before. Once you're running eyeballs.
Anyway, it's updating in real time the script, the images in the background, and the person talking to you, their voice, the tone of their voice. So like you start losing interest in the sales training, and all of a sudden they become more urgent. They're like, right, Jeff, listen to me. You need to get this down.
That's just remarkable. And so then does that mean that my root beer company can produce real-time content theoretically that's getting optimized to the intent? Like I could run my root beer sales pitch through the AI eyeball machine.
Yeah. You have your ads. People come to your landing page. On your landing page, there's a video telling people why they need to buy your root beer. And in real time, it's optimizing for them. It's probably doing everything Facebook's already doing, where it's like, grabbing their data of their IP address and other things and trying to figure stuff out and target you specifically based on that in a real-time video.
But that does not exist today.
It's being worked on today.
It does exist today. It's not widely implemented.
It's not widely implemented.
But it does exist today. It does exist.
Yeah. I mean, in the same way, AIBoox, like our platform, exists today, but people can't use it because we haven't productized it.
Implementation, which is a big part of that's why everybody's got an idea for a company.
Yeah.
Not everybody can implement a company. So as we all learn, but it's pretty exciting. It's a pleasure to make the acquaintance. I look forward to talking more.
Great meeting you.
Yeah, you as well. And yeah, I'm with you. Have they made you testify yet in front of Congress?
Haven't been to Congress.
You got to give them the manage the beast. If you're denying me, it's not my fault you adopted a rhinoceros, but you did. So you better learn how to live with it. You can't pretend you don't live with a rhinoceros in your house. Like you've been.
It is true. It's true. Yeah, wild times.
All right, take care. Again, Jaden Schaefer, the company AIBoox. It will make your dreams come true. Apparently, that's the promise of AI. We'll all see. You're watching Bootstrapping. I'm Dylan Ratigan. We're back on Tasty Live after this.